morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly episode number 250 for January the 30th, 2024. And this is going to be an exciting day because today's day I go in and have my colonoscopy. Talked all about that yesterday in the vlog. Don't need to talk about it anymore. Yeah, enough said. Let's look at current projects, shall we? So here is the quilt that I made using Stephanie's block from hers and Shannon's virtual retreat a couple of weeks ago and made it into a quilt. And I'm really happy with the way it turned out. And the next thing was I needed a name for it. Some people gave me some suggestions. I didn't like any of those. And I was trying to figure out what each block looks like. I mean, it is sort of a star, sort of a windmill. I don't know. But then it came to me. It reminds me of, and frog in my throat, it reminds me very much of those stars you see in those Death Stars, whatever they call them, you know, they throw them, they're ninjas, and they throw these things, they have blades on them, and, well, yeah, but that's what they remind me of, so I'm calling it Stephanie's Ninja Star Quilt. Stephanie's Ninja Star Quilt. And I kind of like the ring of that, and it's a little different. So this, of course, is just the top of the quilt. I haven't got it quilted yet. I will be quilting it soon, and I'm going to try my hand at customizing. I did some experiments, as I'll talk a little bit more about in a moment, with Lucy. And I'm very proud to say that I think I have figured out how I can put a unique motif in every block if I wish to, and in the sashing and in the borders as well. I spent a day playing around with Lucy and figuring that all out. So this is going to be probably, well, I have a couple of quilts ahead of this that I want to get on Lucy, but I'm excited about doing the customized quilting, so I think I'll put this one on first, hopefully later this week, and get started on it. Customizing quilting will take a little bit longer than edge-to-edge designs, of course, because, you know, you have to set up for each block, and although that's not difficult, it does take a little bit more time than just letting the machine do it row by row. So I will show you the final product of that, and hopefully that'll all work out well. Excuse me again. Okay, let's move on to the next thing, and that is this. This is the Folk Art Bunny Rabbit, Folk Art Rabbit Table Runner from I believe it was sweet. No, it was designs by Juju, and I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It's all done now. I finished embroidering out the blocks on the weekend, and yesterday I sewed it all together, and I'm really happy with the way it has turned out. So this, as I said before, I'm not going to say too much more about it because this is going to be a gift for someone. So yeah, enough said about that. And okay, I mentioned the fact that I played around with Lucy for a day, trying to figure out how to do custom quilting, putting a different motif in a block. So I took some fabric, some batting, basically scrap fabric, scrap batting, and a scrap backing, put them all on Lucy. I sewed out a grid of 6-inch squares and some sashing pieces as if it was a real quilt, and went to town. I experimented all day with different things I could do. I learned a lot. I think I've just upped the level of my expertise on a long arm by tenfold, because this is a whole avenue that I was not making or taking advantage of. To this date, I've been doing nothing but edge-to-edge quilting. But I've gone to the next level, and I've had a lot of fun doing this. So after I was done, I had this piece that, you know, what was I going to do with it? And I thought, well, what the heck? Make it into a couple of bags. And that's what I did. And I lined the bags. And yeah, they're a bit crude, but they're great utility bags. So I have those hanging up in the Lucy room. When they will see the light again, I have no idea. I should make a point, though, of throwing them in my car and taking them with me when I go to the grocery store. Of course, here in Ontario, we do not have plastic bags. We do not get bags. at almost any of our stores, you have to take your own bag, which is fine. And we have a ton of them. They're not these type of bags. They're the ones, you know, you buy for $1 or whatever in whatever store you happen to be in when you have forgotten to take in your bags. So we got a lot of those, but they're in the back of Walter's car, because if we go anywhere for grocery shopping or whatever, we're usually in Walter's car. But I should take one of these or two of these and just throw them into the trunk of my car just in case, because you never know. So that's what I've been up to. Let's go back here. And yeah, so the next thing I want to talk a little bit about is just announcements. Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen, of course, this coming Wednesday, which is tomorrow, January the 31st, starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. All are welcome to attend. And the Zoom link for that, because it is a Zoom, is in the show notes below. Another event coming up this Sunday, February the 4th, we have another Men's Sew Day. We have a Men's Sew Day the first Sunday of every month. And there's not a lot of us, but it's not quantity, it's quality. And all men are welcome to join that. The link is in the show notes below, but if you'd like to be on my mailing list for that, so you'll get a notification a few days before. In fact, this week I just sent the notification out for this Sunday, yesterday, Monday. It will have the link in there as well. But if you're not on the mailing list, don't worry. If you've just discovered that I do this, and why am I losing my voice? It's nerves. It's nerves. Okay, get a grip. Like I was saying, anybody can join it if you're a man. And yeah, link is in the show notes below. So hope to see you there. And it's a come and go kind of a thing. You don't have to be there right at 8 o'clock. That's when I start. And it runs till 3. You can join in and leave anytime you wish. What else happened this week? Well, we had, let's see. Oh, no, another reminder. Oh, very important reminder. 10,000 bash reminder. Registration for my celebration of getting over 10,000 new subscribers, or 10,000 subscribers. Some of them aren't that new. That registration starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Time this coming Thursday, which is February the 1st. Okay. How will it be done? Well, I've got a whole video about this, and the link for it's in the show notes. And I strongly suggest, if you haven't seen that video, to watch it if you're interested in attending the bash, because there's a lot of important information in that video. So I am not going to go over that information again, except to say registration, as I said, starts at 9 a.m. this Thursday, February the 1st. That's Eastern Time. If all you need to do is send me an email with your first and your last name and the email address you wish to be contacted at. That's all I need. I will put you on my list and I will send you back a confirmation. I have 96 spots, first 96 people that send me that email, and the emails are time stamped by my system, so I will know when they're coming in, and I will do them in that order. They're in. If you miss out on that, go check the video. There's information about that. When you get registered, I will send you an email, as I said, to confirm it. But in that email will be 2 links. One link to a copy of the pattern that I have created, my first pattern, which is free to you, called When Stars Collide. And for those of you who want to work on it, you can work on it during the bash, but it is not a sew-along. You're free to work on whatever you want. It just so happens I will be here, of course, and if there's questions about my pattern, and there's bound to be, because it's my first one, so be gentle with me. I'll be here to answer those questions. And there are prizes during the day of the bash as well. But as I said, if you don't get a confirmation that you didn't get in, so if you don't get a confirmation from me, you're not in. Okay. I might do a short that'll state that I'm full up now and give you a few other details. We'll see how that goes. But don't despair. If you want to try and get in because somebody didn't show up, then after 9 o'clock on the 10th, you can enter the waiting room. And if there's a spot available, I'll let you in. So again, all of this is explained in the video that I've linked below. And also in that email of confirmation that I'm sending out, will be the link, the actual link for the Zoom day. And I will be taking attendance just to make sure that when you show up, you are the person who you're supposed to be, because your spot is reserved if you've been registered. Okay, that was a very detailed explanation of something I wasn't going to give you a lot more details about. All right, so what else happened this past week? Walter's birthday. Walter's birthday was on Saturday. And I talked yesterday about what I got him for his birthday, and we talked about it on Stephen Walter Live, so I don't think I need to go over all that again. Needless to say, I think it was an enjoyable birthday, very low-key. We had fish and chips, and that was about it. And some champagne. Yeah, good combination, eh? Fish and chips and champagne. Float my boat. Okay, so that takes me to some hauls, because I did a little shopping last week. I went up to Kawartha Quilting last week to pick up my AccuQuilt machine. They have it all fixed. It's purring like a kitten. It's great. Excellent customer service. And of course, while I was up there, they were having a sale on Christmas fabrics and some other things. So I did see, as soon as I walked in the door, they must have known I was coming. There was this layer cake bundle of gnome Christmas fabric, which I had to have. Now, I'm glad it was 50% off, because it was pretty expensive. $93 was the regular price on this. I think that is a little high. I know fabric prices have gone up, but I'm kind of wondering if that was priced wrong, because maybe it's the company they got it from. I think it's a Ruby. Is it a Ruby Star? No. I'm not sure who it's by, because I can't read it in the picture right here. But anyways, it was too cute. But I would have thought twice if I had to pay full price for it. But it was 50% off, so yeah, I bought it. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, the blue fabric. I know they're all blue, but the one that's got sort of the little like spots on it, looks like water drops or whatever. That one, I believe, was on for 30% off. And I got quite a bit of it because I got to the end of the bolt. And I usually only get 2 meters of fabric, which all these other cuts are 2 meters. This one I think worked out to about 4 1/4 or something like that, but I just took the whole thing because I like it. It's pretty and it's blue. And then, of course, you can see the other fabrics that I bought as well. Quite like those. Those were regular price, and I bought 2 meters of each of those. So I don't, now don't ask me what I'm going to do with them. You know me. If it's pretty, I buy it, and I figure out what I'm going to do with it later on. But I also went to Ultimate Sewing this week. I wanted a bolt of white fabric. They didn't have what I wanted. Their selection of white on white or tonal bolts of fabric was a little understated. There wasn't much of it, really, not much of a choice. There were some creams, but I don't like cream. Cream to me looks dirty. I'm sorry, but it does. So if I'm going to have a light background, and I'll use a white or a tone on tone white. Anyways, I ordered a bolt of fabric because they were in the process of ordering more for their stock. So I got in on that. So I don't know when that'll come in. I'm not in any rush. So when it does, it does. But while I was there, and I've seen this fabric in there before, it's by Northcott. It's called Marrakesh, and I love it. I think it's really cool. I've put it off and put it off, and you know, when you do that, next time you really feel you're in the mood to buy it, it'll be gone. So when I was in there, I figured I'm going to buy it. So I bought 2 meters of each of these. And I think they're very, very beautiful fabrics. Again, not sure what I'm going to do with it, but I will find a pattern that will show these fabrics off, I'm sure. Okay, so that's what I bought this week. Still have this frog in my throat and I can't get rid of it, and I don't know why, so I apologize for that. So let's move right into a little demo. Now, I have shown this item before, several years ago, I think. It's an electric seam ripper. Actually, it's not a seam ripper. It is a hair trimmer. However, the quilting world, manufacturers of quilting products got their hands on this little device, and like Quilt in a Day has one and the whole bit, and they cost $25 to $30 Canadian a piece. I'll let you in on a little secret. This item that I'm going to show you how it works, you can possibly buy at a dollar store. I just bought 2 more of them for future gifts, and they were $4 a piece. Yeah. And even the one that I originally bought, I own 2. I have one in my go bag, and I have one that sits out here with my tools. The original one that I bought, I paid $24.99 for it at Ultimate Sewing when they first came out there. The next one I bought was $4 from the dollar store. Both are exactly the same thing. Both work exactly the same. So do not buy one of these at a quilt store. You're going to be paying quilters' prices. Check out your local dollar stores or even a Walmart or something like that. I'm sure you can get it cheaper. You can get them a little cheaper on Amazon too, but not as cheap as at the dollar store. And as I said, they're exactly the same thing. So here's my electric seam ripper, aka hair trimmer, and how I use it to make fast work of ripping out long rows of seams.
Today I thought I'd show you how I rip a long seam out a very fast and very electronic way. And it's all about a shaver. This is a hair shaver. In fact, this is what it looks like when it comes in its package. And the best part of this is not very expensive, but I'll tell you about that at the end of this little video clip. So how does this work? Okay, so here we go. I have a seam right down here. Maybe show it on this side. I don't know if it'll show up better. But you know, standard seam. I've sewn 2 pieces together wrong. I want to rip it out. Well, I can get out my trusty seam ripper, and I can go in here and start picking away. And I know I could put it between the layers and kind of slide it up for a little bit faster, but I have the danger of ripping my fabric if I do it that way. So what's a better way? This electric shaver, battery operated. It has very fine teeth, as you can see right here. So the principle behind this is, if you're using it to rip out a seam, these little teeth will catch your thread and cut it, but they're not big enough to catch your fabric and cut it. So how do you do this? Well, I've got out a wool pressing mat here, and I find this works the best. Or any pressing mat would work, or you don't necessarily have to have one. I've seen people do this on their lap. I take a pin and I just pin it there to anchor that piece down. I took out, already did that with my seam ripper, a couple of the first stitches, and now we just go ahead and put this underneath and gently tug on it and just move this down along the stitches, and presto bingo. It is as fast as that. Nothing to it. You can clean off the little cut threads with the end of your seam ripper or your finger, whatever you want to use, and I have pulled my seam out. As quick as that. Now, I told you, showing you the package, you can pay as much as $25 to $30 for one of these. Don't go on Amazon. Don't go to your quilt store and pick one of these up. Go to your local dollar store. I went to Dollarama. That's the big one we have here in Canada. But I'm sure you can go to Dollar Tree or Dollar General or wherever, and you can pick one of these up for a lot less money. I picked this one up for $4 I think it was $4.25 at the Dollar Tree. I don't think I have a price tag on it. Yeah, or not the Dollar Tree, at Dollarama. That's all it cost. Don't spend any more than that on one of these things, because the ones that you see at your quilt store might say Quilt in a Day on them. They're just branding it for quilters, and you know, anything that they decide is going to be for quilters, they triple the price. So just go into your local dollar store, see what they've got. It'll probably be in the cosmetics section. That's where I found this one, and away you go. And it takes, I think, one AA battery, and the battery will last you forever. I have several of these, I have one that sits here on my sewing area, in my sewing area, and I have one that's in my go bag for retreats and classes as well. Can't live without it. Love it. Absolutely love it.
So that takes me to Subscribers Quilt of the Week. And this lovely creation comes from somebody who's a regular subscriber and submits quilts to me on a regular basis. They're beautiful. She does art quilts, and her name is Pat Jennings. And here's her beautiful creation. This week's quilt comes from Pat Jennings, who's been a longtime subscriber to the Idiot Quilter, and we've seen some of her lovely art quilt creations before, and this one is absolutely stunning. What a wow factor we have here. And Pat says it is entitled Reach, and this piece, along with 4 others, will be exhibited for Women's History Month at the Berea College Library. Not sure if I'm saying the name of the college correctly, but this is stunning, Pat. Absolutely love the silhouette of the ballet dancers and the fabric you've used them in, and the background is really, really fascinating. This is a piece. This shows you what an art quilt can really be, because like a fine piece of painted art, you can stand here for a long period of time and just study the intricate detail that goes into this quilt. I love the use of the circles in the squares and free floating. And I'm looking at the quilting in the background as well, which is incredible and adds a lot of texture and dimension and interest to the overall quilt in itself. And I love the positioning of the applique, and I'm assuming they're applique dancers as they reach towards the stars. So it definitely reflects the title very, very well. This is a stunning piece, Pat, and you should be very proud that you are going to have it on display for Women's History Month. Wonderful. Thank you, Pat, for sharing it. Now, the YouTube channel of the week actually goes along with an interview I just completed last week and went live this morning. And that is Rose City Originals, and the owner-operator of Rose City Originals is Chris Marchini, and I'll talk more about his interview in a moment, but in the meantime, this is his YouTube channel. This week's YouTube channel of the week comes from Rose City Originals, and this is a fellow, his name is Chris, that I am interviewing. So you'll see his interview this week as well. But let's take a look at his YouTube channel. He has a variety of videos about all kinds of things. He also has a lot of shorts that are very, very interesting. But let's just take a look at what he has to offer in his videos. He has how to use the Juki button holder. He has Community Quilt, which are projects I believe that he does. Reusable Santa sacks, June Taylor Quilt As You Go Sophie bag. So he does bags as well as quilts. Placemats. He has a long arm as well. I believe he uses a Tin Lizzie, which is really interesting in itself because that's one of the first commercially available for home use long arms. They don't make them anymore, so it's a bit of a vintage machine. But he has a whole lot of various sewing things, quilting things, uses AccuQuilt as well. It's just the whole ball of wax on here. And I think you're going to find something of interest if you check out his particular channel. Let's take a look at his playlist, see how things are organized. He does clothing, quilting tips and tricks, round robin, community quilt, and etc. So much content here. He also has a website as well. I believe it's called Rose City Originals. And well, I'm sure you're going to enjoy my interview with Chris, and do check out his YouTube channel. So that takes me to future projects. And this one is called Campfire by Carol Thelen. This week's pattern for a future project comes from this book that I recently bought and spoke about last week on the Idiot Quilter episode called Quilt Block of the Day 2023, January through March, available on Amazon.com or Amazon.ca. And there are 90 quilt blocks and over 15 quilts in this particular book. And the beauty of this book, as I said last week, is you can use your AccuQuilt die system to make most of these blocks. But it does say there are 15 quilt patterns, and I found several that I've earmarked that I want to do in the future, and this is one of them. And this is called Campfire. And as you can see, here are all the cutting instructions for what you need. And of course, on another page, which I didn't scan, it shows you how to use your AccuQuilt for it. But below here, you can see what a quilt might look like. And it's made up of flying geese. And although this isn't the color scheme that I would use for it, I really do like this design. And you can see there are two variations here that are being shown as well. So this is on my list of future projects. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but I think the real beauty of this is using my AccuQuilt to do most of the cutting. So that comes from Carol Thelen's book, Block of the Day 2023. Now, I already mentioned Chris Marchini's Rose City Originals YouTube channel. He also has a website as well that you can go to. And of course, he is an ambassador for AccuQuilt. And it was a great interview. Very nice person, very, very creative individual. So here's a little teaser of the interview that just went up this morning. Okay, so how did you get started then into sewing? You say you've been doing it for over 30 years, so I imagine you were very young when you started. How'd that happen?
My mom sewed a lot, so I was just always fascinated by like just the art of sewing. And so she taught me when I was probably around, I don't know, like 8 years old, but I was not allowed to touch her sewing machine. So, learned with just a needle and thread. I would cut up whatever fabric I could get a hold of, make little clothes for my stuffed animals or making stuffed animals. And then when I got a little older, I was able to use her machine, got my own machine, and I've been sewing ever since.
And so that takes me to an online quilt store here in Ontario, and this one's called Bolts to Blocks. And here's my review. This week's online quilt store is called Bolts to Blocks, and it's located in Stayner, Ontario. And this is a neat little shop. Let's take a look at their front page. Winter White Quilt Kit. They have free shipping on orders over $150. And they have popular departments, fabrics, notions and tools, patterns. And then sort of an overview of popular products. They have sort of a directory here as well. They seem to have lots of directories for getting around. Special offers and testimonials and names of some of their products and their store hours. They do have a brick and mortar store. And they do have a shipping policy and delivery. We'll check that out in a minute, but let's go back to the top of the screen and let's look under their fabrics. Now their fabrics list batiks and canvas blenders, and then they have also batting, books, and gifts. Well, let's check the batiks because I think they have more than just batiks. So if we look down the left-hand side of the page, they have 1 and 100% cotton. They have animal panels, animals and birds, aprons, bag making tools, etc. Basic textiles, basic blenders. They have jelly roll batting, jelly rolls. Okay, I'm a little confused about their initial offering here because yeah, they've got tone on tone texture, so I don't think everything they sell is batiks. So this is what came up first in their batiks. Blender batiks. Well, maybe they only sell batiks. I am not completely sure about this. $8.50, I'm assuming that's probably for a half a meter. half yard. They sell by the yard. You know how I feel about that. We're Canadian, sell in meters, please. But anyways, their price is $8.50 for half a yard, so a yard is $17. That's not bad. That's not bad. Their price there. And this is batiks. So you do expect to spend a little bit more on batiks. But let's see if they've got anything else here besides that. And what I mean by that is I'm looking for something in different fabric, not just batiks. Not finding anything. Marble textures. What is that? Okay. These are not batiks. And they're the same price, though. I don't think these are batiks. Do they have anything by manufacturer? Just going down their list here. No, not everything is batiks, but the way they have it laid out, like they've got Toscana blenders, which are not batiks. That's a good price, $7.99, $8.50. So it seems like most things are about $17 a yard. But basic blenders. Yeah, these aren't batiks either. So I don't know why under this category up here, under fabrics, they just show batiks. Those aren't batiks either. So I guess if you don't bother to click on the sub menu of batiks, you'll find there are other things. A little confusing, but they seem to have a fairly good selection of fabrics. All right. Well, I said before that their fabrics are a good price. Let's see about their shipping. Now, we know you get free shipping over $150. And where'd that take me to? Okay, that's not what I was looking for. Okay, that link does not work at all. All right, is there something else up here? Maybe under FAQs? Not enjoying their navigation of this site, the way it's been designed. They talk about classes, panels, beginner, physics, business. What are your store hours? Okay, but nothing about shipping. And when I click on shipping, well, this is weird. This bounces back to the FAQ. That's not what I clicked on. Okay, I guess the only way we can figure out their shipping is by making a fake purchase. So let's try that. Fabrics. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put in 4 yards. Add to cart. Let's go to cart. Checkout. Okay, they take credit cards. Doesn't look like they take PayPal though, which is in my book, that is a minus. I like PayPal. It's more secure. Okay, shipping. Enter your address to view shipping options. Okay, I'm going to put in a fake one. Let me come back. Okay, so here's their shipping options for my area. 1-day expedited parcel, that's $14.05. A priority is $32.85. 2-day regular parcel, $14.05. 1-day express, $16.91. So basically, the cheapest is $14.05. I don't know if that goes up with the quantity. That's with 4 meters. So shipping, it's okay. It's not fantastic, and I expect it's coming by Canada Post. But like I said, if you have over $150, it's free shipping. So that's not bad. So I don't want to place this order. I'm going to go back to my cart here and remove this, and it's gone. And let's go back here and take a look at some other things. Batting, bamboo, cotton, jelly roll batting. Okay, let's go cotton blend batting. So that's what I usually use. And it looks like they do sell it by the yard. And it looks like it's, let's see, this is 80/20 and it's sold by the yard, so it's $18.99 a yard. Not a terrible price for that. It's 96 inches wide. I usually buy 120. So, okay, price-wise on their batting, that's not bad at all. They have lots of books, embroidery books. Well, let's see, do they have other books? Nope. Fat Quarter Quick Makes, Easy to Learn Hand Embroidery, Sewing Home Decor. Okay, that's all they have to offer there, so not really a great place for getting books and patterns. They have gifts, they have canvas blenders. Okay, services. They have embroidery services and long arm services. Embroidery services, I don't see that much. Looping fee is $15, setup free. Embroidery, $1.43 per 1,000 stitches, additional colors. I guess this is if you want custom embroidery, probably on a garment or something like that. That's a little unusual. I have not seen that before, but that's okay. What else do they have? Block of the month. So they have 3 of them, and their prices there per month. So if you want to make this one, it's $55, $75 per month for 6 months, and a sign up $25. That's expensive. It's an elaborate quilt, but that's expensive for a block of the month. I don't know, does that come with the fabric? Okay, your 6-month program includes pattern, all fabrics, and binding to finish your quilt top. Okay, well, maybe that's not so bad since you're getting fabrics for it as well. And they had other ones there too to choose from. They do have kits. And that's kind of interesting. Gnarly. They've got some interesting kits and they're about average price, I would say. Okay, what about retreats? They seem to have retreats. Let's get you to the right page. Contact. Okay, it's a 404 error. So I guess they don't have any retreats at the moment. They have a blog, reviews, and their contact information. So just in fabrics again, I did notice they had pre-cuts in this very extensive. I'm sorry, I don't like the way you navigate through their site. Okay, pre-cuts. I thought I saw some pre-cuts. Maybe it was just jelly rolls. What do they got down here under products? No. Okay. Layer cake. Okay, layer cakes. Jelly roll batting, jelly rolls. You know, we have 5. Yeah, it looks like they don't really focus too much on pre-cuts at all. Well, okay. So my overall impression of bolts to blocks, not bad prices on the fabric. Shipping seems relatively reasonable with the $150 free shipping. They have some kits. They have a block of the month. Overall, I think it's worth checking out. They may have some fabric on there that you can't get other places or at that price. And yeah, so okay shop. Not really happy about the way you navigate their website. I think that could be a little more user-friendly and a little more accurate. But overall, I think it's worth checking them out further. That's Bolts to Blocks in Stayner, Ontario. So that brings me to the end of this episode of the Idiot Quilter. Just a reminder, the 10,000 Bash is coming very soon. Registration Thursday, February the 1st, and the actual event Saturday, February the 10th. So it's coming up really quickly. And now I must mentally get myself in the mindset for someone sticking a tube up my bum. Such is life. Hope you have a good week. Hope you have do some sewing that makes you happy. And I hope no one's doing anything nasty to you this week either. Have a good one. Bye for now.